Today we're talking about someone who kind of terrifies me, I'm not gonna lie. Anyone who can basically kill someone with their own two hands in the matter of 30 seconds is a little bit scary. But he's had a pretty incredible career, and we're going to be looking at some of his cars. Today, we're talking about Conor McGregor. Conor Anthony McGregor was born on the 14th of July 1988 in Dublin, Ireland. He is the first son and third child of Tony and Margaret McGregor. His two older sisters are called Irene and Aoife. Now, that is spelled like this, A-O-I-F-E, which is incredibly confusing. I don't know if I'm the only one who found this confusing, and there was someone at my school called this, and we called her Aoife. So if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. But it is very complicated, Nick. He grew up in Ireland, of course, and went through his whole, primary, secondary school in a place called Tulloch. He spent his whole childhood in Ireland, and that is where he grew this passion for sport, and mainly, actually, at first, football. He played for the Celtic Football Club, and at 12 years old, he started to feel the need to be able to kind of like defend himself. That is when he embarked with, at first, initially boxing in a local boxing club. He was trained by Philip Sutcliffe, who was an old Irish Olympic athlete. He started winning a few competitions here and there in English boxing, which was already a really good start for him, but of course, he wanted to push for more, and that's exactly what he did. In 2006, Conor and his family moved closer to Dublin, just on the outskirts, and this is where he met Tom Egan, who's a future UFC fighter, and they started training together. This was a big step in his career, and that's when they started really getting into mixed martial arts, MMA, which is also the name of, I think, an insurance company or a bank in France, and they're always on the TV, and because I'm in France right now, I keep seeing their ads. Back to the subject. In 2007, McGregor started his career in MMA. He was spotted and taken on board by the Cage Warriors organization in 2011. Now, any organization which is called Cage Warriors, that's where I draw the line. That's where I would stop. I would say, lovely, nice to meet you, Cage Warriors. I'm gonna end things here. The next year, so after just 1 year of this, he ended up having the belts and winning the championship for 2 different categories, lightweight and featherweight, which I feel if I were to, at any point, which is very unlikely, take part in any combat sport, I wouldn't even qualify for featherweight or lightweight. I'd need like dust weight, air, inexistent weight. That's what I'd need as a category. Winning both lightweight and featherweight, he was the first person actually ever to do both at the same time simultaneously. So his first kind of claim to fame. And that's when he signed his first contract with the UFC. The rest is history. He's had an incredibly prosperous career over many years, beating basically everyone out until he was head-to-head with Khabib more recently. That was huge. I mean, it was the most watched UFC MMA event of all time, and he actually lost out to that, announced his retirement after that, and then, well, there was a ton of drama, came back, had one more fight, and then recently, 7th of June 2020, announced his retirement for the 3rd time, but this time on Twitter. How nonchalant is that? You're just sat at home tweeting out like, been a good run, guys, I've made a shit ton of money, I'm done. Speaking of how much money he's made, Google, which as we all know is the most reliable source in the world, says that his net worth stands at $99 million, which, knowing the kind of guy Conor McGregor is, I'm sure kind of sits right there with him and annoys him, because he's $1 million away from the 100 million mark, which must just frustrate him a little bit. Now, not to worry, he has over $1 million in cars, so if he wanted to, he could just sell his cars, he'd be right there. He's also got a ton of money in watches. Let's get into the cars then, shall we? That's why we're all here. No one wants to hear me blabbing on any longer. For any normal human being, or in fact, you know what? For any human being, one Rolls Royce is beyond enough. Conor McGregor, he needs not 1, not 2, but 3. All on the same platform. So Ghost, Dawn, and Wraith. Now the Ghost is the 4-door version on the BMW platform, based on the BMW platform. They've actually just released a newer version of that. He has one of those with his face and his name, well, logo, Notorious, on the side, which he uses up to, notoriously, hey, see what I did there? Show up to his fights. Then got a Wraith, which is a coupe version of that same car, 2-door coupe, which he stood on, as you do. And then a Dawn, which is a convertible version, cabriolet version of the Wraith. All of them. And often you'll actually line all of these Rollses up outside his air, or rented plane, or I don't know if it's his, or we're not on that subject yet. He arrives places in private planes and will have 3 Rolls Royces outside of it. So Conor certainly knows how to make money, but he also certainly knows how to spend it. Because everything he seems to have comes in doubles. His Lamborghini Aventador, reportedly bought a white Lamborghini Aventador Roadster, 700 horsepower, naturally aspirated V12 running on a single clutch with 4-wheel drive, an absolute beast. Now he bought this white car and then reportedly rented a coupe version in Verde Ethica. I believe the color was, it looks like it's Verde Ethica, which is a legendary Lamborghini color. So yeah, as if having your own was, he probably traveled and then wanted one somewhere else. I don't know, but he's been seen in 2 Lamborghini Aventadors, which are absolutely gorgeous. Similar story with Bentley. He was seen in a second gen, so, well, first generation facelifted Bentley Continental GT, the W12 version. It was actually GTC, so it was the cabriolet, driving into somewhere in Los Angeles, but since has posted a photo with the brand new second generation and beautiful Bentley Continental GT. So still got the twin turbocharged W12, 4-seat layout, tons of power, tons of torque, but a modernized exterior and interior, which makes the car just a big step up, that first one we saw him with. So he's clearly stepped up from there and still loves the Bentley Continental GT. BMW i8, similar story. It's still one of those cars that's been out for a while, but looks like an absolute prototype still. He's been seen in a white one as well as a gray one. Notorious for being actual rental cars, i8, because they aren't, I mean, they're very expensive, but not hugely expensive compared to others to rent. And with the doors and the futuristic look, they really give you that kind of extra shebang. And yeah, so he was seen driving away as a passenger in one of them. So, you know, was it a friend of his or was it rented? We haven't had confirmation, but he's definitely been seen in both of those. Now, this is one of my favorites. It's Cadillac Escalade. The reason this is one of my favorites is because of this video right here of 2 guys fighting, kind of training, doing their MMA thing on the sidewalk, on the side of the road. I believe this was filmed in Dublin, having a good time when an all blacked out Cadillac Escalade happens to just drive up right next to them. Window goes down, and little do you know, in the passenger seat, Mr. Conor Anthony McGregor sat right there, willing to have a laugh, willing to say hi, and even give a wave to the camera as he goes. And I thought this was brilliant. This video made me adore Conor McGregor. I think it's just so cool that he stopped and was willing to kind of have a good time and take a little bit of time out of his day, because there are a lot of people in his position who would not do that. So very, very cool video. Awesome, kind of very modern 2018, 2019 model, I believe, Cadillac Escalade. Really nice looking. Now this, we don't actually have any photos or videos with Conor McGregor in them, but there are loads of reports saying that he has actually bought a Lamborghini Huracan Aveo. Now the Aveo is one, it's a standard Lamborghini, if you can call it standard, Lamborghini Huracan LP6 10-4. So 610 horsepower from a V10 four-wheel drive, but made to commemorate, I believe, the Italian Air Force. So it's done in a whole Air Force attire and looks great. He's then been seen also driving around in a Land Rover Range Rover Sport. Why do we have to say Land Rover Range Rover? Why did I say that? You could just say Range Rover, you'd all know what I was talking about. Not the latest model, daily driver, seems to be a go-to for many celebrities in LA to cruise around in without getting too recognized, because Conor McGregor is one of those people who probably can't go many places without getting recognized. Another video that made me kind of really like Conor McGregor is this one in his McLaren 650S, where he pulls up to some traffic lights and some young lads, some fans next to him, you know, kind of start having a conversation. You know, he's got his little bean, you know, bonnet, whatever you call it, thing on his head, clearly trying to hide himself, which is a bit contradictory when you're in a bright orange McLaren. Has a chat with them, very nice to them, and then blasts away, huge acceleration. So another video which I just thought was really cool that he took the time to do that. He's also posted and been seen actually in a video driving from the inside. You can see him driving his Mercedes S500 Coupe. Really cool car. You know, obviously if he wants to get wafted around in the back, he's got the Rolls Ghost, but this is kind of one that he could drive himself. And S-Class Coupes, there's something just so classy about them. And my favorite is Volkswagen Amarok. No, I've said that completely wrong. Amarok V6 Volkswagen pickup. I have no information on this car for you guys, as in the car we can have information, but on whether he owns it, whether it was rented, whether it was a friend of his. He posted a photo and it was in the background, and I loved it. And I thought him driving that car is so cool. It's a sick car, V6, awesome looking thing, and kind of one of those just go anywhere cars that you can do anything with, put your surfboards in the back, put anything you need in the back and just go anywhere. So really cool. I thought it was so sick that he had one of these, and rather than ending on the Aventador or ending on, you know, some crazy supercar or hypercar, that would be really fun to end on that. So yeah, really nice car. Still a very expensive car, but great to see in his collection as well. That brings us to the end of that then. Conor McGregor. So if you sell all your cars, you'll be able to pass that $100 million mark. But congratulations on a huge career. Not that you're ever going to see this video. Awesome, awesome car collection as well. Many cars in multiples. And it was an absolute pleasure as always covering these and doing the research on it. I love sharing these moments with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Remember, if you really want us to talk about someone, all you have to do is comment their name down below, and we'll take the person that's the most recurring. That's that. Cheers, guys. Leave a little thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.